My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Welcome to the Low Cash Classics Podcast.
One day I'll have a car that badass, I'll be tripping gears and pulling Brody's going, oh, oh, oh.
She had the smell of a brand new car. That's just about the finest smell in the world. Except maybe foot.
That's awful. That's awful.
What's going on, man?
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Ready for episode number 2.
Yeah. So, today we want to talk about movie cars.
It's a good topic.
Yeah, so, in my opinion, that's what made me a car guy.
It definitely ingrained a lot into me.
So, seeing movies and just... The main character always has a cool car.
Yeah. Or the main character is the car in some instances, yeah.
So, what's your number one favorite car, movie, or car?
Hands down, Christine is my favorite.
That's a good one.
What would be yours?
So, my favorite, a lot of people...
Yep, see, there's one going by right now.
So, a lot of people don't think of Death Proof as a car movie. A lot of them just think of it as a scary movie. But my favorite would be Death Proof because it has the Vanishing Point Challenger and it has the badass Charger.
Yeah, and I like the Nova. The Nova,
Nova is cool, yeah.
I've always had a soft spot for Novas due to my uncle and his Nova.
Yeah. I think to me, that's got one of the coolest chase scenes ever.
I just like Quentin Tarantino's a badass director to begin with, and then him doing a car movie, like the scene. My favorite scenes where he head-on collides with that car with those girls in it, and then they play it over and over from different angles.
The leg flies off, bounces down the road.
It might be gory, but that's just so different. You never seen anything like that in a movie.
That is by far like my favorite car movie, and I mean, I'm not as big a fan of the Vanishing Point Challenger as I am that Charger in that movie. Yeah,
like the Vanishing Point is definitely a different era of car movie versus that. But it's definitely, I don't know, it was so different for the times. I think that it was just cool the way he visualized these cars and the scenes was so much different than what you used to seeing in a car movie.
Yeah. So what about Christine made it your favorite?
Oh man. There's times I would get goosebumps watching the car. I mean, what guy doesn't dream of your car restoring itself for free? Where's those demons at we can summon? Please restore my car.
That's funny. I never thought of it that way. I was never like, oh God, I wish my car would repair itself and murder people.
I couldn't tell you how many times I'm like, okay, let's play the music. Cue the music.
You're doing reverse exorcisms on your car, just trying to get I can quote
the whole movie almost.
Oh man.
The lines are just epic. Like the part that gives me goosebumps is when Arnie, one of the bad characters, was in the storage area and Christine comes rolling by, but it's just the car, or at least they let you think it's just the car, and then he's like, "Cunningham, is that you?" And then just Christine revs up and just starts chasing him. The sound of that engine just and I actually owned one of those for a small period of time. It wasn't a Fury, but it was a 58 Chrysler 2-door.
Oh, nice.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
I actually put it in my front yard for a Halloween decoration.
Yeah.
To the city put a note on my door.
You would think they would be like, this is Halloween.
This is clearly I had red lights, a fog machine.
That is hilarious.
It was awesome looking.
Yeah, Christine is one of those that, and it's also got the blue Charger in it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. And then the story of a young kid buying a project car. I mean, that's what I'm all about, you know? I can tell how many times I went and knocked on doors and asked if asked the people if they'd sell a car, had no for sale sign, and just been sitting in their yard.
You're like, one of these got to fix its fucking self.
Is that for sale? Get off my yard.
Yeah, I think if your car was going to fix itself, you'd be okay if it murdered someone just every once in a while.
As long as it didn't tell me about it, I mean, that'd be fine.
So here's a question. So in that movie, I never quite understood. Was he driving the car the whole time? Or was the car doing stuff on its own?
The car definitely did show the car doing stuff on its own, like when the garage owner got in it.
Oh,
when it was
yeah.
all burnt up, which I don't know why you'd get in a burnt up car, but he got in there and it crushed him.
Yeah.
So the car definitely was doing stuff on its own. But then I think toward the end, like he had so much connection with the car that it actually possessed him to an end.
I mean, it happens. Cars will just take over your life.
Women just don't understand.
So what are some other favorites for you?
Well, you can't like be a Mopar guy and not call out Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, that's a staple for any kid from the 80s. I mean, Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, they had Dukes of Hazzard Happy Meals at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, everything was... So the advertising for Dukes of Hazzard was a bit before my time.
Right, well...
But I mean, it was still something that, like, I watched all the time.
Man, I couldn't tell you how many little Hot Wheels that we destroyed. And, you know, we get our dad's oil change ramps, get the bigger plastic ones, and just ramp them off of there. Destroy everything.
And now you're like, fuck, those are worth $1,000 a piece.
I spent some of my adult life going back and buying them and collecting some of the old stuff. And it's expensive.
Oh, yeah. You're like, damn, I destroyed so much money when I was a kid.
There's like a press 10 steel version. It's like a 1/16 scale. And I don't remember what I paid for it, but they're worth like $200.
Dang.
And hard to find.
Yeah. So I love Dukes of Hazzard. And then another one growing up was always Smokey and the Bandit. Like, I think I've seen Smokey and the Bandit probably more than almost any movie ever.
Right. That, to me, that's like another one that... It's like Christine. I've seen Christine over and over and over. I know every line. Same with Smokey and the Bandit. I've seen it so many times.
That's one, like, if I'm scanning through channels and I see it on, I'll just stop and I'll watch it from wherever it's at.
Especially if it's one of the cool scenes.
Yeah.
And even though it's cheesy sometimes where they speed up the... Because obviously the car and that truck ain't going that fast. You can tell it's been sped up. But just listening to them, like... cut a U-turn and just boil those old bias ply tires is just that just gets in your skin. That's what I need.
So I like also growing up, one of my favorites was the original Gone in 60 Seconds, where he's just stealing the cars to steal the cars.
Right.
And I liked it because it's just got one of the coolest chase scenes ever. I think it's just
I think it's the longest chase scene in a movie.
Oh yeah,
if you look it up.
So I used to watch like the commentary on all this shit before, like the behind the scenes stuff, and so they talked about they basically just hired a bunch of stunt drivers for that movie, and they didn't really lay it out. They were basically like, all right, now chase me.
Just destroy the town and the cars.
Yeah. So you know some of it had to be set up because there's like one spot where he hits the car and it just breaks in half, right perfectly
fake,
in the middle.
Oh, who cut 90% of this car in half?
But that was one that I always really, really liked. And then I really liked the new Gone in 60 Seconds.
Well, most people have seen the new one. Not too many people. I don't feel not too many people have seen the original one anymore. But like, I think the newer one had a cooler version of Eleanor.
Oh, yeah.
The old one, it was kind of just a Mach 1, like the fastback. Nobody liked it.
And it was yellow, I think.
Yeah, it was yellow. But, I don't know. Another movie I really love is Joe Dirt. I mean...
It's funny because of all the movie cars, like if I had my choice of any movie car out there, I honestly think I'd take Joe Dirt's Daytona.
Oh, that was so cool.
Awesome. It's cool just how it is.
Oh, I mean, you could just, like, what he does, and he's just sitting there, you like them roasting? You like them spinning tires, huh?
Yeah, Joe Dirt is by far one.
It's so funny, and it's got a cool car.
And I feel like they missed the mark with Joe Dirt, too, like, horribly.
Yeah. I think my favorite part from the second one is where he had the Super Bird baby stroller that he had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they tried more on the comedy side of it the second time, and I think it missed.
Yeah.
But
it definitely got
cars,
some cool cars. Like I said, that. And then Kid Rock in that drives a Trans Am.
Right, yeah. So I think they were playing off other car movies a little bit. Now, like, was it... He worked for a dentist or something, and that woman was giving him the...
Oh, yeah, the Roadrunner.
Belvedere. Was it Roadrunner?
I think it's a Roadrunner.
Okay.
I don't remember. Hemi Roadrunner. I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it was a funny movie.
Because he talks, and that's like, we're like that with the, like, oh man, check out this deal.
My Barracuda's got the footprint gas pedal in it. It's so cool.
Yeah, Joe Dirt's one of, like, anybody our age knows Joe Dirt.
Right, yeah, this is just a classic to me.
And it's funny that it is a car movie because I don't think it was meant to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, David Spade is a Mopar guy.
Yeah.
Because I know there's other movies where he's got like...
Oh, yeah, Tommy Boy, he drives.
Yeah, Tommy Boy.
Yeah, that's a, what is that in that car?
A Belvedere.
Yeah. And then they rip the door off. He's like, what'd you do? That's like my favorite scene ever.
Is it the same one where they like had the gas on? It's like, how fast do you go?
That was Black Sheep. He's like, well, it's got a 426 Hemi. He's like 7 miles an hour. And usually when I pull people over, they pull over to the shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Black Sheep.
Speaking of a comedy car movie that I really love is, I've always loved the Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had that 64 Impala.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I actually got a model car that I want to make a replica of that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'd be super cool.
And then they had like other cars in the movie too. Like they had a van that they had lowrider, and they pulled like the dry cleaning business or whatever magnets off, and it had like murals on it.
I saw somebody on Marketplace had the Dumb and Dumber, the dog van for sale the other day. I was like, the Mutt Cuts van.
Yeah,
that's what
Mutt
it is.
Cuts.
I was like, man, that's kind of cool.
I don't know if I'd drive that.
I just think movie cars in general, like, they just have a coolness to them.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, the first movie car that I ever really probably fell in love with was the DeLorean, Back to the Future. Like, Back to the Future has been like one of my favorite movies ever, forever.
I think if they didn't make the Back to the Future movies, the DeLorean wouldn't be worth anything.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason they're so popular
they're
and
so
expensive.
cool, though.
I actually found one of those one time. It was in a town close to here, just setting. It had some busted windows. And I was like, oh, holy shit, I can't believe me and my buddy was like, we got out, we was looking it over. I was like, I can't believe this is here. And I think they ended up wanting like $10,000 for it, but this was...
God dang, that's a lot of cocaine.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cocaine.
They want the cocaine back that they had to trade for it back in the 80s.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, those cars were made with drug money. So... just selling cocaine, building DeLoreans. Seems like they're living the good life. Let's see. I always liked Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. That was always a good one. It was one that I didn't
like a B movie.
Yeah, for sure. It's one that I like after, I'd say like my late teen years, I started liking that more.
Right. And sometimes it feels like it's kind of a stretch to look for like a Mopar movie that's... But yeah, that car's cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't it get hit by a train in the end? Don't they smoke it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny because they use Camaros in that and Vanishing Point.
Like, no, nobody's going to destroy it. Except for Dukes of Hazzard, bastards.
Yeah, they destroyed a lot of those
I think it was
cars.
like 205 or something like that.
I like when you see the photos of the studio lot and it's just all orange Chargers.
Super cool. I would go crazy if I saw that.
It's crazy because they put concrete in the trunks of those cars for the jump,
so
so
they'd be
people are
level.
finding them in the junkyard.
Oh, yeah.
Now they've
that.
found, I think, almost all of them, but I know.
Well, the ones that survived, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Or somewhat survived, more than crushed.
So to me, I like the General Lee. I think it is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's it's for sure the most overdone replica car
That's
there
true.
is.
Yeah.
So anymore, when I see one, I'm never like, oh fuck yeah, the General Lee. I'm like, oh, another General Lee.
Like when we go to Branson, there's the one.
Yeah,
that's
there's always
sitting down
one
there.
there,
It's like,
So I think it's kind of, it's lost its
it's kind of like a
coolness.
tip of the hat, but it's
Exactly.
not like go fan crazy.
But if
you
I
know?
seen a fucking DeLorean, I'd be like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, we have one at work at a car show. Show up
Oh
before.
yeah, dude, that'd be cool.
That's a super cool car.
One of my buddies works for another restoration shop, and he sent me a picture one day sitting in the seat of a DeLorean that had been made to look like the time machine.
Oh.
And I was like, you lucky bastard. Yeah.
So I think, like, then we talked about comedy car movies.
Mm-hmm.
What about like more on the horror side, like Maximum Overdrive,
Oh yeah.
where AC/DC did all the music through the whole movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
But like that clown truck, just
Oh yeah.
like that struck fear in me when I was a kid. Like, and I know there's a guy out there that had found the original
Oh, yeah. I saw
mask
that
on
the
that
other
truck,
day,
and he restored it. Now he drives it all over the country.
that's cool.
On display
That's
at
really
like
cool.
what are those called? Comic Cons.
Oh yeah.
Sets
That's
up
cool.
booths and stuff.
If you had a car like that, like a movie car, or like would you take it to shows and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I want to drive my stuff, but yeah, like I got cars that, like that kit car has been in Cannonball 2. There's one of those in Cannonball 2.
Nice.
Then like my Camaro was made for Knight Rider pilot episode, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't used, so nobody would recognize it, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's a weird one.
Then like another B scary movie was what was that? The Wraith
Oh yeah.
with Charlie Sheen, and it had a '66 Barracuda, which was like ugly, but the way they did it, and it was a cheesy movie, but it had like I can't remember the name of the car, but it was like a Chrysler concept car.
Oh yeah.
And like it was supposed to have some kind of weird like alien engine.
Yeah.
And it would just run through a car and like explode them. I think there was a Firebird in it that had a big blower in it and stuff. But it was kind of like a teen racing, bad guy, good guy thing. And then Wheels of Terror was another B scary movie. And the main car was like a demon possessed like 74 Charger. Like they cut the I-beam in the middle of the grill and like smashed it down so it looked angry,
That was funny.
And like it chased a school bus full of kids around the whole movie. And
I've checked that one out.
it was pretty cool. I like it a lot.
What's the one it's a scary movie? It's got the black on black CUDA.
Oh, Phantasm?
Phantasm, yeah.
See, I know I've watched the movie, but I don't ever recall. I know the car's in it, but to me it never stood out versus the rest of the movie.
That's what now, looking back on, like, Smoking the Bandit, I remember everything about Dukes of Hazzard. I know all kinds of stuff about that one. Like, the real classics I know pretty well. The others I'm like, yeah, I remember the car, but I don't remember the concept.
I think, what's the guy that does all the Mopar restoration?
Mark Werman.
Yeah, I think he's gave more publicity to that car than
Big
the
time.
movie.
Yeah,
had.
because they were doing the restoration.
Yeah.
On it. Yeah.
I mean, it's super.
Dude,
cool
that
car.
dude knows his shit.
Oh my god, he's just like a thesaurus of Mopar.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everybody's always like, that guy's a tool, but I kind of think he's funny as well.
He's definitely he's quirky.
Yeah.
But
He
yeah,
just
I mean,
seems
he
cool.
just
I hang
knows.
out with the dude. He knows so much shit. Holy hell.
If there was another restoration shop I would go to, it'd be that one. Just work on Mopars every day, learn everything about
It's
it.
crazy because they pretty much everything they do is like back to like original spec, like down to the hardware almost, it seems like.
Yeah, it's very rare that they do something modern, like a modern engine or something in it. But
Yeah, that's a cool show. I like that.
yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, you're right. They've definitely made that Phantasm car way more
Yeah,
famous.
it's way more. Got way more attention on that show than it did from a movie.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the Fast and Furious movies.
Well, you know, like in the beginning, they were super cool because there was like, you know, I graduated in 2001, so that was when the real height of all the tuner, you know, Japanese like style cars were going around. And I was guilty of building some of that stuff myself, but it's like now it's just ridiculous. Like
the movies have gotten ridiculous. I liked them when they were car movies.
Right.
Like I liked them all the way up to Tokyo Drift. I was like, man, this is fucking cool. I can get with this. I had the poster of the Charger flipping through the air on my wall. Looking back as a Mopar guy, I'm like, oh God, why'd they do that? Why couldn't they have used a Camaro?
Where was the vanishing point guys on that movie?
But no, I did like the movies. Like I said, I liked them all the way up until everybody was a secret agent.
It's like
they were flying cars into space.
Right, it doesn't make sense.
The Dodge Charger, the only car to go to space with Vin Diesel.
I feel like there's a Charger in every movie too, like something they have to carry through. See, I lost interest when I found out they were putting LS motors in everything, just because they was making it reliable and cheap, and I'm like, what? Protesting this movie. You can't be mixing breeds like that.
That's funny. Although, man, working where we work, I'm like, fuck, LS swapped the world now.
It's sad to know that it's so much cheaper to be a Chevy guy.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, why do I like Mopar stuff? I like it because it's original.
Right.
And not everybody does the same thing, whereas I feel like, but I fucking understand why everybody does the same thing, because it's fairly cheap, reliable, proven power.
Yep.
So I 100% understand it, but I'm like, fuck, why can't Dodge stuff be that cheap?
They got us by the balls.
There's just so much aftermarket support for anything GM.
Right. I'll tell you this. Well, I can't say that either. I was going to say there's no Chevy-based car movie that's ever given me goosebumps, but I think I've got it from like a couple of scenes from Smokey and the Bandit where, you know, he's boiling those tires.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
Dude,
cool.
Smokey and the Bandit
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I liked whenever they did the new Dukes of Hazzard movie, and they start out in the race in the junkyard, and you've got basically the Bullet Mustang, the Starsky and Hutch Torino, and Black Trans Am.
What was that in? What?
The Dukes of Hazzard.
All those cars were in there?
Yeah, and they're all racing against each other in the beginning of the movie.
Now that movie, almost, I mean, if we could play it right now, and I guarantee I'd get goosebumps, when he pulls that car out of Cooter's garage and it's playing Black Betty. Oh my God, just the lights come on, revving it up.
Yeah.
That, I mean,
I felt the same way when Jessica Simpson was watching it. So
that gives me a different kind of bumps.
No, that is. I loved the way they did that whole movie. I mean, I think they did it good.
Yeah, it was funny too.
Yeah.
And like the jump scene was like, was it some kind of record that they broke when they shot that car up onto the highway and they actually landed on the wheels? I mean, it destroyed the car, but it landed on the wheels.
Yeah, that was cool.
But I think they kind of they put that Charger body on I don't know, some kind of foreign car chassis for the drift scenes and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. I know there's a guy who builds for like the
shows,
the Duke Days and stuff that they do. He builds the Chargers on a Crown Vic platform because he's like, hey, you can jump these things a bunch of times. And so
just buy the aftermarket body.
Yeah, exactly. He makes everything, and it's nice because he's not destroying original cars. So
it's still like, it's like when you get a joke played on, you're like,
yeah.
Still
that
gives
makes
you
it
that
cool because they're still promoting that.
Right.
The coolness
it's still popular. Yeah. I mean, Bullet was another classic movie. I don't know, people joke about how many hubcaps that car lost.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Dude, that guy had to have a stockpile.
He's like, hold on, pull over real quick. Let's put another hubcap on.
I think there's not enough car movies being made today. Like, you have very few.
Unfortunately, I think, like, the whole industry is like the youth that's coming up that just doesn't have interest in cars.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times I hear about kids becoming of driving age and they're like,
Oh yeah.
I don't even want to get my license. But when we were like 8, we're like, can we drive, Dad?
Oh yeah, exactly.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. Like, I don't know about you, but I know I used to sit on my dad's lap and steer going down the highway.
That's
It was
what I
just
had.
fun.
We had Grayson out here in the parking lot
Yeah.
the other day, just driving around.
I try to get my daughter to move the car. She moves the car around in the yard
Yeah.
by herself, and that's like a big step, I think.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm. Both of my boys got their permits as soon. My 2 oldest, they can drive. They got their permits as soon as they could, and they seem interested. But I remember kids, even whenever I was in school, who didn't get their driver's license till they were like 19 or 20.
Yeah. I think I had to wait till I was 17. That was just because we lived way out in the middle of nowhere, and we were poor, and I didn't,
Yeah.
I was putting my car together still. It was kind of lame, but it was all right, I guess.
Yeah.
I still drove.
I
I
gotta
just,
start somewhere.
yeah.
All right, man. Let's wrap this up. So, you guys comment. What's your favorite?
Let us know if we left anything out.
I'm sure we did. We left a lot
No,
out. We didn't talk about American Graffiti.
Oh,
we didn't
yeah.
talk about. We talked a little bit about Cannonball Run.
Even
Missed a
Dazed
lot
and
of stuff.
Confused
Dazed and
had
Confused.
cool cars in it.
So, Grease Lightning.
Oh, God.
Is that a car movie?
No,
I mean,
that's a retarded.
I like that movie. That was like, I was a big John Travolta fan as a kid. I was just in my underwear. Go Grease Lightning, burning up the quarter.
That's not in the episode of Grease Lightning.
What?
So that's not in the episode
Oh.
of Grease Lightning.
All right, guys,
Gee.
go check out Grease Lightning. Grease 2 has motorcycles. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time.
Yeah.